from the rest of the Avengers, at first I thought Ant-Man was the silliest hero from the rest of them. I mean, what can a person the size of an ant do? But the first movie taught me a lot of advantages about being small. However, if I was the size of a real Ant-Man, I would probably get squished by a feet for the first 5 minutes. Yes, I am that spaced out sometimes. Just 5 minutes of admiring how little I am and then... Okay, cue the intro. Good morning, afternoon, evening everyone. Hi, my name is Myra and welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? I hope all of you are doing great because I certainly feel like I'm doing great. Kind of. I'm still having a cold from a few days earlier, so I hope my sound or my voice doing better now. Anyway, if you haven't, please click that bell button besides my subscribe button so you will be notified if I upload something new. Now, I wasn't kidding about how silly I feel when I first hear about Ant-Man. I mean, a soldier as tiny as an ant? What can they do? What would they even be doing as superheroes if they are so vulnerable to other beings? You know, other bigger beings. But then I learned a little bit more about how his powers is compacted, how he could talk to multiple species of ants, and how they can keep shrinking until they disappear to another realm. I thought that was pretty dope, but apparently the sequel makes me see Ant-Man even better. It all started where we left Ant-Man the last time, after he served his time for helping Captain America in the Civil War. He was in house arrest and he has no choice but to live it. Fortunately, his daughter is able to see him every weekend, and that enough has made Scott very, very happy. Just 1 or 2 days before his sentence is finished, he suddenly had a vision while he was taking a bath. Something that has to do with Hope and Hank Pym. So he tried to contact them in the effort of finding out what the vision was. The next day, he woke up only to find Hope beside him while he was sitting in the car seat and the car is moving and was most definitely in violation of his house arrest with only 1 more day of freedom to spare. So, what would happen next? Why would Hope reach out to him? Even though Scott did stole Hank Pym's tech and went off to be in Captain America's team. So many mysteries and questions needed answers, and if you'd like to know the answers, please watch the movie first before moving on with this video. First off, there's one thing to do before you watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, and that is to watch Captain America Civil War. Ant-Man might not have a big role in there, even though he went big, like literally, but his appearance is essential for his own continuation of the story. So if you haven't watched Captain America Civil War, you are probably lost. Horribly lost even. But if you have seen Civil War, then you are in the right path. My first reaction while watching this movie was, it's good to see that even though he is in house arrest, Scott Lang managed to have some fun. In the first movie, we took off with Scott released from jail but still have a strained relationship with his family, especially when his wife doesn't let him to see his daughter that he loves very much. Now, even though he is in prison in his own house, he owned up to his mistakes and have a wonderful relationship with his family, and he can see his daughter on weekends. Plus, he was being very creative with entertainment. I mean, I would love to have an ant box cardboard thing for me to play with when I was a little girl. That would be great. Then came Hope Van Dyne and Hank Pym. At first, I definitely forgot how Scott's actions would affect them both. And once I heard Scott and Hope's conversation, that is when it hits me how disappointed they are with Scott. But at least Scott's vision brought them back together, even though it meant peeling off another old scar, hopefully for the last time. A couple of things that I see different from the first Ant-Man movie, and I just absolutely love them. 1. How Hank Pym finally trusts Hope with the Wasp costume, and she was just magnificent with it. I watch in awe when she battles those Dinkerhorns with awesome flawless moves, and she gets the job done. It's just so badass. 2. How Scott is not the apprentice anymore and he has to do a lot of work to get Hank's and Hope's trust back. It gives the story more layer and give a different approach. Plus, he makes such a good Jenna Van Dyne. And 4th, the fact that Jenna Van Dyne herself played a big role in this movie. I'm glad now the elusive Jenna Van Dyne has a face and the person portraying her is a great actress. Oh, and of course I'm loving the harmony of Scott's family. I am glad that they are able to be together at last. But what is a great story without a great villain? Now, as I'm sure that I've mentioned this before, Disney and Marvel began concocting this idea that a villain is more than just a villain. I hope that makes sense. I mean, it's not just a guy or a girl who has a grudge or revenge that would make them do crazy stuff like kill the main protagonist or take over the world. They, and by they I mean Disney and Marvel, start to give layer upon layer for us to focus on, and that's again exactly what happened in Ant-Man and the Wasp. From what I see, we have a pair of villains here, namely the Ghost, with real name Ava Starr, and Bill Foster, who was Hank Pym's understudy / rival back in the days. If this was the classic villain era, the two of them, those two villains, would form a plan to kill Hank Pym and his family, along with Scott Lang for good measure, probably. But since we have the villain with a new formula, the Ghost ended up as a broken-hearted girl who was used by S.H.I.E.L.D. as a weapon, and she is in the verge of dying. But Dr. Bill Foster knew that Hank's technology could help this girl that he nurtured from she was a child back to health. But Dr. Bill Foster that nurtured her know that Hank Pym's technology could save her. Bill Foster himself is not really a villain, more like a neutral party that has his own grudge against Hank Pym. But he knew to handle his grudge like an adult, the opposite of Ava Starr. And I love how the villain is represented in this movie. It gave us a happy ending for everyone, at least for the time being. Ava was healed and Bill Foster made his amends with Hank Pym. Nobody died, no one killed, there's no world to be saved because it is safe at the time being. Now, characters. Obviously, I would talk about Lewis. I mean, he's one of the reasons why I waited for the sequel of Ant-Man. His ad-lib scene is just amazing, and it's always fun to see other characters talk as Louise. Just please don't let him be vaporized because of Thanos. I mean, I understand the mid-post scene. I actually expected that to happen. I believe I've mentioned it in my Avengers Infinity War review that naturally, some of the characters from Ant-Man would disappear because of the snap. But please don't make Lewis disappear. He is such an enjoyable character. I love him very, very much. The next character that I want to talk about is Agent Woo. Mostly because he's the most hilarious agent that I've ever seen. It's only fitting that our Ant-Man is being taken care of by one of the most ignorant, hilarious FBI agent ever. I mean, he even tries some close-up magic and even tries to hang out with Scott. Maybe he secretly thinks that Scott Lang is the coolest dad ever? The rest of the characters are amazing, even though, just as like a side note, I do not know how Scott will get out from the quantum realm. Now that everyone that knows how to get him out is dead. Guess that's for another time. So, should you watch this movie? Compared to Avengers Infinity Wars, Ant-Man and the Wasp is a cakewalk. If I have to compare them with romantic movies, Avengers Infinity Wars is Titanic, while Ant-Man and the Wasp is just like any rom-com movie that you enjoyed and you can probably watch over and over without getting bored. I mean, for me, I can watch Titanic again and again, even though it is such a good movie. The experience will still be good, but I just cannot see Leonardo DiCaprio frozen in ice cold water again and again. And I just can't see Loki died again. I can't. But Ant-Man 2, it is such a fun feat. I would never get bored to see Louis' ad-lib scenes and Scott talking as Janet. and the rest of the movie is very light and exciting at the same time. If you haven't seen it, please make some time to do that. It's not something you will regret. So that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I gradually lost my voice again. I'm sorry if you have trouble hearing me, but I hope you like this video reaction, and if you do, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. This is not a video reaction, this is a movie review. Why am I stupid? But I hope you get the point, and don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. They are in my description below. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!